Hey guys, I'm here with Chris from Keller Williams Elite in Massapequa, and we're just going to discuss a couple things going on in the market right now that we think every potential home buyer should know about.
Awesome. It's good. We did it today. I have like 2 listing appointments after, which is fun. 2 in East Meadow, but it's more so just like people like finding out what their house is worth, which is fun. And I feel like it's such a good pitch because like so many people like check their bank accounts every day and like their stock portfolios like a couple times a month. But like, how often do you find out how much your house is worth? You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like people should do that more often, at least once a year in my opinion, as opposed to like when you're looking to sell. Like your biggest asset on your balance sheet. Like why would you wait before you're looking to sell as opposed to like every year? Just to see like where you're at, you know what I mean? Like
right, no, it's definitely a good idea because it's amazing how many people I talk to.
Yeah.
And I'll ask them, what do you think your house is worth if they want to refinance?
Right.
And 9 out of 10 will say, I have no idea, but I looked at something online and they throw out a number, and we all know those online estimators are
crazy.
99% of the time are wrong. They're either way high or way low.
100%.
They're not realistic. So having somebody, a professional like you, go out there is definitely a good idea.
I agree. And like they're telling me, like Zillow tells me I'm at like 750. Zillow has no idea how many bedrooms you have, right? They're just like guessing off of like the public record. Or like how new is your kitchen? Like what does your bathroom look like? They have no idea. They don't even know like if you have a pool or not, which adds tens of thousands of dollars, you know, on your home value. So it's really cool. I feel like I can't name one agent who wouldn't be willing to do that for you. You know what I mean? Like so many people are just so willing to go out there and like just like educate you on the market, you know, on your biggest assets. So I think it's really important. And yeah, like even with refis, when you're ready to refi, like you could be potentially sitting on so much more money than you think.
People have no idea, especially the market has been so strong over the past 5 years, and values have jumped up so much, and they really have no clue. Even if there was a house right down the block that sold, they have no idea what it sold for. And again, like you said, Zillow or these online companies don't know that you added a bathroom in the basement. Or you remodeled your kitchen 2 years ago. They don't know that.
No idea.
And all that adds so much value to the house that a potential buyer is going to pay more for those things.
100%.
And that online estimator does not have any of that information. So that's great that you do that.
Yeah, it's cool.
Good.
So gonna be a really fun day meeting new people. So I'm excited. You know, it's all about meeting new people, shaking hands, getting your name out there. So all good stuff.
So tell me, what do you think about the market right now today to be a first-time home buyer, or even to be somebody that wants to right size? Either it's an older couple, their kids are out of the house and they want to buy a smaller place, or vice versa. Somebody maybe that's in a small house, now they had a couple kids and they want to get a bigger house. What advice can you give somebody going out there to start the process? And what should they be looking for, and how do they gauge where to go and things like that?
I think there's a lot of misinformation out there and a lot of flashy headlines saying it's impossible to get a house. You know, the housing market's so hot, like we're doomed. And I think we're like the furthest from that actually. Even though we're strong, even though we have a super strong market here on Long Island, I think there's so many ways to get into a house a lot easier than you think. Even with selling your house, people are scared, you know, I'm gonna sell my house now and then I have to pay the same rate, or I'm at a 2% rate now and like I have to pay 6% now. You know, if we're in the high 6s today, the average interest rate over the past 30 years is what, 6.5%?
Rates, and rates will come down. Everything is cyclical. You know, rates go up, rates come down. Even though you may take a 30-year fixed at say 6.5% today, if rates fall to 5%, you refi.
100%.
It's not a penalty. You get out of it and you lower your payment.
So now you're waiting for the rate to go down, and now the house you want to buy is 50 to 100K more expensive because everyone else waiting on the sidelines have been waiting, and now they're going to hop in and supply and demand. So like I said, like I think now more than ever is probably the most opportunistic time to buy or sell. It really is such a great market, and like I'm really excited to speak about some like grants that first time home buyers have at their disposal. What concerns me is that people don't even have that conversation because they're too scared to. You know what I mean? They don't think it's possible for them, and like it really is possible. So like the way I see the market, I think it's great. I think it can only get better. Even if you buy now and you refinance in 2 years, like you just built 50K in equity. You know what I mean? Like you did by doing nothing. That's kind of where I see it. I think it's a really great opportunity for young people to hop in.
I get calls from people that I literally pre-approved 3 years ago. Right? And now they're like, all right, we're ready to get back in. You know, the rates are still hanging around, in the 6s. We don't want to wait any longer. But that house 3 years ago is now $100,000 more today. And they could have bought something, but now that at least they're realizing, hey, maybe I should buy now, because if I wait another 2 years or so, it's only going to go up.
100%.
So chances are buying now, and then when the rates come down, like I said, you'll just refinance.
Yeah.
We're going to see a mad rush. All these people that have been sitting on the fence for a couple years, now all of a sudden they're going to try to jump into the market at the same time. And what happens? More competition drives prices up.
Yeah.
And the people that bought today will just refinance and lower their payment, but they're in.
They're in.
And these other people may get a lower rate than they would have got today, but they're paying so much more that at the end of the day, it's costing them so much
100%.
money.
I completely agree with you. So buy real estate. I'm not even from being a buyer's perspective, but it's a great opportunity for now. So with new people, someone in like their mid to late 20s, early 30s, looking to get in, like there are so many options for them.
The first thing is we need to get them pre-approved.
Right.
And before they even think of going out. I mean, I can't tell you how many open houses I've been at where people walk in and they have no idea what their buying power
100%.
is. They say, yeah, I want to keep my price at $600,000 or less. Why? I don't know. Sounds like a good number, right? They have no idea what that translates to in a payment.
Right.
You know, they don't understand all that goes into calculating that. How real estate taxes can affect your payment,
100%.
you know, a lot. Where you can go down one street on Long Island and 5 houses in a row that are the exact same split level house that the builder put up, you know, back in 1970, and each one is paying different taxes because this person, you know, filed a grievance every year.
Right.
The next guy may have the star exemption.
Yeah.
Then the guy after that filed a grievance and he's a senior citizen, so he gets the senior star.
Yeah.
Then there's somebody else who's a veteran. So there's all kinds of things that go into it, and you want to be careful. So when you look at a house, you want to see what you're going to be paying because again, those taxes can really make a difference on your payment as well as what you qualify for. So I always tell people it's really good idea. Let's see what you can qualify for. And then number 2, let's make sure you feel comfortable with that payment. You may qualify for a $900,000 loan. That payment scares you, and you would rather have a $700,000 loan where your payment is going to make you much more comfortable. You know, maybe it's a growing family and there's another child coming and things like that. So everybody has to make a decision where they feel the best. For first-time home buyers, there's a lot of grants out there that most people don't know about. You know, one great grant is Sony May. Comes from the state of New York, okay, for first-time home buyers. They don't advertise on TV, okay? Nobody knows about it. Most people I talk to have no idea what I'm talking about, okay? But for a first-time home buyer, they can get a below-market interest rate and get money to go towards their down payment or closing costs. It's a great program. There's other community lending programs where they can get additional money, additional grants that could be stacked on top of the Sony May, or just go separate from Sony May. Maybe they're doing an FHA loan, but they want to get this extra money, this grant money, that can help them for down payment, closing costs, and even renovation money. Okay, there are some programs out there where there's a program right now in Nassau County that we offer that you can get up to $60,000, and about, let's say, $32,000 is going to go to update the home, and the other $28,000 will go towards down payment and closing costs. Some good stuff out there that nobody knows about. So it's important that, you know, me and you as professionals, we educate the clients, we educate the consumers, because this way they'll know exactly what they can get. Why miss out on these things 100%. If we can get them?
And just a conversation. You know what I mean? Like, even if they're not looking until next year, like, now you know all this stuff. Now you know there's $60,000 potentially for closing costs and down payment, like, which is amazing. And I feel like everything you just said is, there's so much to talk about there. And like, I post on social media every day, and someone reached out to me and said, you know, we're looking, like, we love the content you post. Like, we're just like casually looking around on social media and like the internet. We're around like 550. I'm like, how do you know you're at 550? Like, we're at like 600. I'm like, how do you know that? Like, who's telling you this? You're telling yourself this? Like, you have no idea where that number comes from.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter if you have 60K in the bank or 100K in the bank, like, you have to be able to afford the house. And there's so much that goes into that.
Absolutely. Plus, you know, another big thing is a lot of people still look at it the way their parents bought a house or their grandparents, where the old rule of thumb was, I got to save up 20%. or I'm not going to buy a house. That's what my father told me. If you don't get 20%, you're not buying a house, okay? Those days are gone.
So gone.
Very few people, I mean, listen, it's great. If you have 20, 30%, maybe you're getting a gift from family, or you've been able to save or borrow from your retirement.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, but most people don't have that or don't want to use it. You know what? There's programs out there, I mean, as little as 3% down.
Yeah.
You can get a great house. Or if you're a veteran, the VA, 100% financing.
Yeah.
You literally can buy a house with nothing out of your pocket.
Yeah.
So these programs are out there. All they got to do is just ask.
Right.
And let's see what we can do.
100%.
You know.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, same sentiment, like 20% down, like that's drilled into their head. But I think a lot of people hear PMI and they might get a little bit scared. Like, what do you have to say about that?
So that's really funny because, you know, PMI was basically a dirty word.
Right.
Right? Oh, my God, I got to pay PMI insurance.
Right.
Most people have no idea what that even means, number one. And number two, how much it's going to be. Okay? Once we run the numbers, perfect example, I spoke to somebody today, and they said they don't want to buy anything unless they could scrape up to 20% down. Young couple buying their first place. And I said, well, why are you so focused on the 20% down? Well, my mom said, you know, if I don't put the 20% down, I'm going to have this mortgage insurance. I don't want to pay extra mortgage insurance. I go, well, how much do you think it's going to be? And they're not looking at anything crazy expensive. They want to keep, like, maybe buy like a condo or a co-op and stick somewhere in that $300,000 range. Okay. So I said, well, what do you think it's going to be? Like, I don't know. I go, well, you're scared of it. You must have some idea. Well, I heard somewhere $300-400. I go, well, your credit and stuff, it's going to be under $100 a month.
Crazy.
They couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
They're like, we've been holding off on buying because we couldn't come up with the 20%.
Wow.
Because we were so scared of paying private mortgage insurance, PMI.
Right.
When I told them that, they're like, oh my God, what do we got to do?
Yeah.
You know, and now they're sending me the paperwork.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Right.
Hopefully I can get them pre-approved, and then you can start showing them some places. You know, but
let me know.
But the case is that there's so much wrong information out
100%,
there.
Yeah.
Listen, a lot of people get their information from TikTok and stuff like that.
Yep.
And when I see some of these videos, like my kids will send me videos, oh, here's a mortgage guy.
Yeah.
You know, and half the stuff they're talking about is not even correct.
Right.
Scary.
Yeah.
So that's why talk to people that know. Meet with an agent that can guide you the right way. He'll put you together with the right people, whether it be a lender, an attorney, an insurance person, whatever it is. And if you're working with the right team, you'll be able to get in the right house.
Yeah, and social media is so powerful too. Like, same sentiment as that. Like, you just told me there's a grant that's local, right? Like, that brings you local money and everything. Like, the person you're listening to is from Wyoming, or like from thousands of miles away, who has no idea about the market here on Long Island, has no idea about like local programs that you offer. Like, as valuable and as much information is out there, like a lot of it's bad. It really steers people the wrong way sometimes. So
100%. You know, it's important to work with people that know the market.
Right.
That know the area.
Yeah.
Like, listen, even for realtors, right? For a realtor, you're licensed in New York State.
Right.
But I don't expect you to get a client and start trying to sending him houses in Buffalo.
Right.
You know, you don't know the Buffalo market.
Yeah.
Just like the guy in Syracuse doesn't know the Nassau County market or the Suffolk County market.
100%.
You know, it's a very different situation, and working with people that are local, that this is in our backyard, is definitely going to be a big plus for you.
Yeah.
And plus, listen, good listing agents, right, when they get an offer and they see it's from maybe one of these they have a pre-approval from one of these internet banks, or even some of the big commercial lenders that they know are going to be much stricter when it comes to maybe not having a CO for something, or they put a bathroom in, they never got a permit and stuff. They're not going to accept that offer. So it's important, again, use local people who know the market and can get things done.
I mean, I feel like a lot of these internet banks, just have this strong website or like a strong media presence, and like you're talking to a robot at the end of the day, right? Like, you're not even talking to a human, and it's just crazy. It's like when one of those comes across my desk, I'm like, are you sure you want to do that? Like, are you sure you want to go something like that? But totally up to the consumer. But there's so many resources out there. Why pigeonhole yourself? One person, when you're buying a house worth $700,000, like, get multiple opinions, which I always suggest people to do.
100%.
I feel like a lot of people like who I'm working with are so dead set on like certain areas or school districts that they have to buy there, right? Although the prices there are pretty competitive, there are other options in that neighborhood that might need some work. Like, a house might need a brand new kitchen, right? The tiles in the bathroom are pink, or the carpet is 50 years old, and like some people look the other way, when really that's a couple $1,000s that you can build into your loan, potentially. You know, like there's so many loan programs out there to get you into that neighborhood that you really want, and like you can turn that into your dream home, you know, and like I think that's another conversation that we have to have with people.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely. There's some really good programs out there so you can get money for renovation. So we give you the money to buy the house and then do the renovations, whether it be through the FHA with a 203K or with a conventional loan with a reno on top of that. So, you know, these are things where people may be able to get into the neighborhood they want.
Right.
If they have vision, that's the way to get that house and get in where you want to be. And then you redo the kitchen into your dream kitchen.
Right.
Or, you know, and you can get it usually at a better price than that house that's down the block that's selling, and people are lined up fighting over it and overpaying because the guy that's flipping the house put in a new kitchen.
Right.
Okay, so these are all things that are important for the consumer to know. Don't walk into a house and look at it and say, oh my God, green shag carpet, purple walls, kitchen that was from 1970 and the bathrooms from 1950. And don't run away. Start to look at it and say, okay, it's going to cost me X amount to make this the way I want it, and you factor that into your offer, and you may get it because other people may run the other way. Because they're not looking at it with vision. And that's what you got to do.
No doubt.
Okay? So to summarize the market right now, you know, what would you say? Good time, bad time? What's your...
I would say it's a great time for both buyers and sellers. I think there's a lot of opportunity out there for buyers. I think there are a lot of programs. Just have an open conversation, you know, with people, like see what you can buy, see what you can afford, see what's going on in the market that you're looking for. Getting into your home is a lot quicker and a lot easier than you really think. And, you know, it all just starts with the phone call. You know, which is great.
All right, so if anybody has any questions, please, you know, reach out to me, reach out to Chris. Our information is below, and we look forward to making you a homeowner sometime soon.